Hi, I'm Lisa Vann. I'm editorial artist from Seattle, Washington. I'm also a salon owner and an educator globally. One of the things that I wanted to really bring you today is something that is a great passion of mine, and that is avant-garde hairdressing. The thing that most stylists don't know is how much work and dedication and time it takes to get the looks from the wig store or the hair store to the client when you're doing print work or runway work, or even just doing fun within the salon and working with your team. So today I want to bring you some great tricks and tips on how to achieve some of these looks and the preparation that you go through to get the end results that you desire. So today I want you to stay tuned and enjoy some avant-garde hairstyling. I think the biggest key to avant-garde hairstyling is inspiration. What inspires you to do it? There's a couple of ways that I look at building and creating beautiful avant-garde pieces. One is what inspires me to get the idea, and that often comes from art. It actually comes from environment and also comes from other hairstylists in the industry. I see some really amazing, beautiful look from Vivian McKender, Nicholas French, Angelo Seminara. These are great names to look up in our industry to kind of see where their minds go when it comes to avant-garde hairstyling. My recommendation for inspiration is look to other hairstylists, but don't copy other hairstylists. When you look to other hairstylists, look at what they're doing and then go in to see what they were inspired by. A lot of times you're going to find it's from artists or paintings or nature. The other thing that I look to is who are my models? Who's lighting it? Where are we shooting it? Really getting environmental and also getting your team together to kind of know what they can bring to the table. A lot of my work is partnered with a photographer, James Chin, and also Andrew Deardahl, who does my designs. In some of my portfolio, you're going to see that we use from ice sculpting dresses to mirrors to sandpaper. Those are the wardrobe inspiration that I was given when we were coming up with collaboration to get some really great looks. When I go and do shows, we've done the Australian Expo, we've done fashion weeks around the world, then I look to a team of people, whether it's my designer, whether it is the producer of the shows, whether it's just a theme of the shows. We did a show at the Australian Expo that was all geared around elements. So we had water, fire, air, earth. And so each segment and each look that we did were designed by the elements. And that was a theme for the show. We also did a show that was around elephants, kind of banning trophy hunting in Asia and India. And so we were really inspired by the designers by creating looks that were inspired by elephants. And so we wanted to bring awareness to actually ban any type of trophy hunting when it came to ivory with the tusks of elephants. So you're going to get inspiration in many different ways. What I do recommend is not to take other people's styles and try to duplicate them. Come up with your own, be creative, and it'll be more exciting for you to have really original work. There's a lot of things that I work with when I'm doing avant-garde hairstyling. One is time. Time is going to be your friend. Give yourself plenty of time to build the pieces, make mistakes, refix those mistakes. One piece that I made, it must have taken me 6 months. I worked on it every single day for a couple hours a night after I got out of the salon just to get the results that I want. When it didn't work, I had to start over. So know that those mistakes can happen. For tools wise, I find that I go to a glue gun quite a bit. I mean, when you're building pieces, you might not look towards, I have bobby pins and elastics and curling irons and hairspray. You might have to go to unconventional things like glue. When I'm building avant-garde pieces, I often go to Home Depot or kind of department like craft stores to get some of my tools, because what I find is I have a better result of things lasting longer when I'm building them with other materials than just what I'd find at a beauty supply. I do often get large hairpins or large clips or even metal wire. I've used fishing line. So whatever is needed when you are creating something, you want to have structure and security in your piece so that can last. Because a lot of times it's being like walk down a runway or you're shooting it, and if it's falling apart, it's going to cause you great headaches. So you want to practice with these pieces prior to your event, and that way you know that it's going to hold up. So today I'm really excited to show you some really fun techniques in avant-garde styling. And as we move through the day, I will be talking about some of the tools that I used and some of the things that I did to prep the pieces prior to today, because I couldn't actually come in and start a video and not have 15 to 20 days to actually make a piece. So we're going to talk about how those pieces were made. We're going to talk about what products and what tools I used to make them. And we're going to have a great day of doing avant-garde hairstyling and being inspired by it to do it yourselves. One of the things that I'm very focused on is sanitation when I'm out working, especially globally. Being a global educator, I go into different territories around the world, and different areas require different types of sanitation. Before we bring our model out, Alexis, I'm going to actually put on my face mask. I use different ones. A lot of times when I use a different model, I will change my mask and apron out before my next model comes in. And then I'm going to properly sanitize my hands. And also to note, all my tools are sanitized in between model usage, and actually in the salon as well, we sanitize all our tools after every guest. So let's get started and have Aspen bring in our first model. So I really like the idea of making pieces and actually bringing them in, so when I actually do the shoot or the show, I can just isolate the model's hair, whether it's a wig wrap, which I'm going to actually show you as well, or braids or ponytails, whatever my anchor is, then I just have something to pin to and something to move from. It does make it great. There's a couple of tips I tell you. When you move quickly and you have things prepared, it gives you a little bit of time with the photographer to then get a few things of your own. Often I was told by a really good friend of mine, Derek Scurry, who said, carry a bob, carry an afro wig in your bag, because sometimes if you get a really great shot and you're done, sometimes you can talk to the photographer and say, you know, I have an afro wig in the bag, I'd love to get another shot. I got an opportunity to work with an amazing Naha photographer, Roberto Larossi in New York, and we got everything we needed. We had Saint Laurent clothes. We had a great makeup artist, Rudy Miles. And I just said, do you think we can get a few more shots? And I pulled out an afro wig, we got the shot. I pulled out a bob, we got the shot. It was so different than what the campaign was for, that I had some personal images for my portfolio. So sometimes being overly prepared is great, because then you might have a little bit of extra time to do more. And I think that that's always important when you have a crew together and a team together that's really vibing and gelling, and you can get some really great additional shots that can be used for other things. So I actually did another piece which I thought was really fun when I was talking about the show we did in Australia under the Australian Expo. We did elements, and one was water. And what we did was this, made all these pieces like this. We did like this basket weave, and we actually dipped them in a bowl of gel. It was like a gallon of gel. And then we just draped the weave over a mannequin head and let the hair, with the weight of the gel, fall apart and then just harden into a shape. And once it was hardened into a shape, we then went and we worked with putting it on the model, and then just created some added interest to their hair that made it kind of fun and different for the show that we were doing. So sometimes you can create something that is just very different, and you don't even necessarily know what it's going to turn into, but then you can use it for an avant-garde piece that is kind of interesting and fun to do. So I'm going to just take this piece and I'm going to start turning her braids upward and kind of incorporating them into this piece. And kind of create something interesting here. And I might just be able to kind of just wind these into each other. So definitely having things ready to go allows you to be able to then be very creative when it comes to doing some avant-garde pieces. So now I'm just kind of working with the piece, with her hair, and just kind of creating some interest. Pull. I'm going to turn her this way so I can see this side. There you go. So sometimes you can just take something that you've made and bring it on set and then create something interesting and different and avant-garde that just might work. Another thing is I've worked with different up styles, and actually however I set the hair, there was one shot that I just cut the band out and the hair just fell into this kind of weird way. And it actually was a nominated image for an award because it just fell. We got the shot and we didn't have to comb it. It just was out of the elastic. So don't over fuss or overdo. Sometimes you can do the simplest things and apply it to a great base and get a really cool look.